family. Welcome to the Nothing I'm Fine podcast. I am your host, the Street Evangelist. This is a podcast where we are taking up space, speaking truth, and healing out loud. So, joining with me, I have my co-hosts Marcus and Demetrius. How y'all feeling?
Hey, what's happening? Can't complain, man. Thank God for another day.
Thank God for another day. What about you, peeps? All right, listen, we are on a mission today. So we thank you for showing up for week number 4. Last week we discussed middle school boys, emotions, and the church, and that's where we broke down. Is it safe for boys to feel? We all had these two agreed that the church was safe to feel. I had a different belief, but then we also talked about places of vulnerability in the emotional suppression, and then lastly, emotional health and spiritual maturity. And so for this episode, we're going to be talking about breaking through shame and silence. And so I just want to get started. What has silence cost us? What does silence cost us? Because we're speaking to an audience of middle school boys who potentially are silent. Do y'all know what that means? Silent, by definition?
Yes.
What does it mean to be silent?
Don't express yourself.
Yeah.
Stopping yourself from being vulnerable to express yourself. I don't release whatever holding you back within.
For sure. And so you're talking about there's an internal barrier that's preventing you from speaking.
Yeah.
Right? You have anything?
Silence.
Yes, silence. So I want to give you the definition. I love English. I love words. So silence is the forbearance from speech or noise. It says muteness. But don't be afraid of forbearance. That word just means refraining from the enforcement of something that is due, such as a debt, right, or obligation. And so silence, just in these definitions, is that you choose not to enforce what you have the right to enforce. Now, going deeper, refraining means to keep oneself from doing something, feeling, or indulging in something. And so you are refraining, keeping yourself from doing what you need to be doing, like telling the truth or feeling. This is where you become numb. Have you ever been numb? The reason why you're numb is because potentially you've been silent. And so just real quick, silence, if I could answer it just real quick, silence cost me my freedom. My freedom. And so my freedom, in essence, freedom such as freedom to be a kid, freedom to fellowship with others, freedom to be innocent, right? Freedom to have joy, and really just enjoy the fruits of my labor. And so because I was quiet, it didn't matter how much public success I had. Privately, I was silent and I struggled. Yeah. And it caused me to have an unpleasant experience when privately. Publicly, people thought that I was okay, but privately, I was silent because I was struggling. And so I wasn't always quiet because I wanted not to talk, but there were some things I was keeping to myself, and I was hurting. Yeah. And so I want to ask you, Marcus, first. What has silence cost you?
It's a little loud over there. I know, but honestly, when I heard you talking about silence, like, I don't feel like silence has cost me anything. That's just me, my perspective. Especially as a kid. I thought being silent was normal. I just minded my business.
Yeah.
So for me, silence, I don't believe it cost me anything.
And so minding your business. So have you ever been told by your parents or somebody, what happens in here stays in here?
No, but I've been told to stay out of grown folks' business.
Grown folks' business, right? So have you ever heard grown folk talking about something that now that you're older, you like, that wasn't right for you to be talking about?
Not really. I mean, I wasn't, as a kid, I wasn't really around a lot of grown folk. Like I said, I stayed to myself.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I mean, I wasn't interested in listening to grown people talk. I wasn't interested in trying to be grown, put it like that. I just wanted to be a kid.
Okay. So as a kid, you was to yourself.
Yeah.
All right. And so, what was it like for you being a kid? Like, what were you into?
So I was into really playing basketball, going to the Boys and Girls Club. That's a lot of my childhood memories is South Louisville Boys and Girls Club with Mr. Chuck.
Mr. Chuck, dog.
Playing basketball. Yeah, playing basketball at the Dirt Bowl as a kid.
Yeah.
Playing basketball at, I think it may be Virginia. It's a church on Virginia. I don't know the name of the church, but outside. And playing flag football. So, I mean,
flag football?
Yeah, we had flag football.
You was getting busy out there? Yeah. I ain't never heard you to be a football player.
We had flag football, the Boys and Girls Club. So, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So what has it cost you, Demetrius?
Well, it's pros and cons. Because silence have cost me to hinder my own self.
Okay. Talk about the hindrance.
Where I was dealing with a wound, a hurtful wound, a cut wound.
Make it plain.
I was dealing with a hurtful cut wound where I never wanted to talk about it because it hurt so much. Yeah. So I kept silence. But the flip side of all that, when I kept silence, I was trusting God to heal that wound on the inside.
As a kid?
Yeah. As a kid?
As a kid?
Yeah.
Put yourself as a 14-year-old?
No. What I mean by as a kid, because you said we're speaking as we are children, right?
Yeah, children. Yeah.
So true. Excuse me for that. Then let me wind that back. I can't recall. Did I keep anything quiet or silent?
So what was you going through in middle school?
Well, for example, I had to hook up at Family Lives and I sold little games in middle school to hustle.
Yeah.
I had to keep quiet because I couldn't tell everybody how I got them.
Yes. How'd you get them?
The hook up with Family Dollars. So that was my way of expressing, hustling. But I was keeping quiet. It was a sinful thing I was doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't stealing them. Someone was giving them to me. They was working for the store. They was giving them to me, and I took them to school and sold them.
So time out. You didn't purchase them.
No, I didn't purchase them.
So
let me word it like this because we is on television.
No.
I did give something.
Okay.
But did I pay the whole fee for each one of them?
Yes.
Someone worked there where they gave me a discount, a personal discount, a family discount.
But you knew it was wrong as a kid.
As a kid, I didn't think it was wrong. I didn't have no thoughts like that as a kid, to be honest. I'm thinking I'm doing what the world was saying, surviving.
Mm-hmm.
That's called surviving at the time. Until I realized that I was dead wrong. I was sinning against God. I was sinning against myself. I was hurting myself because I found myself doing more sinful things by keeping that one silence of that first sin.
Yeah.
That's where we found ourselves in a deep sinful hole by keeping silent. But Habakkuk said in Habakkuk 1, he stated, "How long, Lord?
Okay.
How long are you going to allow my people to go through this?
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to show up to help us?" It ain't the exact words, but he's saying something like this in Habakkuk. I'm paraphrasing. In Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 2. So
just go to it.
Even though he was in his state of asking God how long, he didn't lose his faith.
Yeah. So And so what you're asking, well, pointing out, and just correct me, is that sometimes God is silent.
Yes, but sometimes God wants us to be silent. He wants us to depend on him.
Yeah.
And don't try to do it on our own.
So be still and know that he is God.
Yes, be still and know he is God. See, when I was a young man in middle school, I didn't know that. I didn't know that part. Be still and know that he's God. Know that he's going to supply all my needs.
Yeah.
I was just brought up in the area where it was about surviving.
Yeah.
Until I had to run through a whole lot of brick walls and burnt my hand.
Yeah.
Almost died to really understand that God, it's good to be silent underneath his eyes because we depend on him to show up. If you depend on him to show up, he will show up and show out. You just got to have patience and believe that he will.
So I heard you. This is what I would say about being silent with God. We got to be careful with that because God wants us to beg when we need things. So yes, a lot of times we say, well, God know I need this. Yeah, he do know. But he also wants you to depend on him, which is why we should beg. Which is why we need to beg for him.
And I agree with you to a degree, because this is what I heard. Yeah. This is what the Bible says. Okay. The Bible say, don't be like the Gentile, saying them many words. I heard you once. But I found myself begging too, Marcus.
You gotta beg.
I found myself begging. You gotta beg, and ain't nothing wrong with it. But the Bible do state that don't be like them Gentiles using many words. I heard you once. That's what God's telling me.
So what we're hearing between us, as I'm sitting here, is we're also looking at context on when to be silent and when to talk. Because we talked about being still and knowing that he is God. Being still was translation, be silent and know that he is God. Silent, knowing that God is going to do what he said he was going to do. So we have to make sure that in context that we're talking about, we have to know when to be quiet. Quiet, like knowing that like the Lord has heard us. Yeah. Or in Philippians 4, 6, and 7, through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, right? That petition is about the repetition of your prayer. You consistently going to God and you praying to God, right, for something. Because here's what happens after you petition God. Then the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your heart and mind that is in Christ Jesus. And so there are some nuances when it comes to being silent. Would you agree or disagree?
Say it again.
There are nuances on when to be silent.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
For me,
what I done learned,
I think it goes into discipline, because again, yes, there is a time to be silent, but we must always seek. We must always beg. We gotta beg. Like that's always ask, seek, and knock. You gotta always beg. Yes, after you beg, yes, you need to sit there and try to hear the voice.
So what's
God?
Yeah, for sure. And so my question then would be, in the begging, what is that? What is the purpose of us begging God?
What do you mean? Because he's gonna supply all our needs.
He is.
We begging him because that's the only person who can do it. We can't do it for ourselves.
We're begging him because he wants us to ask. And the way to ask is to beg. Be like that beggar that's on the side of the road.
Right? Humility is the word that comes across.
Okay. Humble.
When I hear begging. Humility, and I'm going to put it into my words. Humility is us emptying ourselves of ourselves and creating space for God to show up, right? God's glory to show up. And so it's about the heart posture of being humble. And so when we're begging, we're humbling ourselves before God to making our request be made known to him multiple times.
So time out.
Break it down.
No. We can pause this and see if that's loud, bro, because that's really loud. I can hear the lyrics.
Okay.
So
press pause real quick.
Is the microphones jumping, picking that up?